Доброго времени суток, друзья, dWayfer на связи. Продолжим прохождение игры Forgotten City. И будем дальше распутывать клубок тайн. Наверное, сначала стоит заглянуть в подвал, про который говорил Деций. Поглядеть, что это за привидение. Может, и сентилью возможность найти появится. Поглядим, в общем. Поехали. Привет. Еще раз.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
Ага. Руфий стал раздражительным из-за ревматизма, но если ты дашь ему немного коры ивы, он успокоится. Так. Сначала это. Спасем Юлию, потом убийцу в храм отправим. И к Руфию. Ну все, беги. Так, и стоит посмотреть еще раз за ним. Угу.
Fabia, listen.
There's a troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of him. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
No time to explain. Go!
All right, I'll be in my bakery. Thank you, Galerius.
Ага, значит, он все равно по своему маршруту бежит. Не в порядке, который я ему говорю.
Don't shoot. I'm no threat. You'll find what you're looking for in the avenue. Second building on your left. I've got to run.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Прощай, человек с луком.
Just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new guy told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much for acting as quickly as you did. I never knew if no one we would have lost her.
Can't stay. Places to be.
Так. Еще немного стрел. Ну-ка, если с этим поговорить.
There's no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
A treatment? Really? Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. You're a good man, Galerius.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run.
Доброго вечера, Ольга. Спасибо. Приятного просмотра.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
Я переживаю один и тот же день снова и снова.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus.
Сизифа? Но почему?
Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again, for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
Ну, продолжай.
Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in.
Спасибо, Галерий.
Anytime, friend. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
Так.
Thank you. Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must have been desperate to see me. Well, what do you want? Are you insane? You barge into my villa uninvited and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw from an election I'm bound to win?
Я знаю, что ты Квинкций. Твоя жена показала мне твое любовное письмо. А Нерон хочет твоей смерти.
So, it finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you, what, one of Nero's assassins?
Нет, к твоему счастью.
So, you're not going to kill me?
Не убью, если ты сейчас же снимешься с выборов и освободишь всех от своей кабалы.
Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live?
Сохраню.
Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There. You got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again.
Так, отлично.
Domitius, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I've made a decision to release Julia and Ulpius and withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
I've just had a change of heart.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money, wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir.
Ну да.
Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know.
Так, ну-ка. Чем это все закончится?
Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default. That is all. A new face, Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? I beg your... Oh my. Let's see. We don't have sis, and fine. So it's... May Fortuna.
Так. А, про Ульпия забыл. Ну-ка, получится, нет? Успеть.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
Still here.
I'm not supposed to be. I should hope so. This is outrageous.
Так. Здесь не пройти.
Still here.
Не помню, как забраться на самый верх. Так.
Ave,
Успею или нет? Успел. А ты кто?
This temple imposing. Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the golden rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
Если честно, мне нужен Ульпий.
All right. Well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please, please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Ладно, я с ним поговорю.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Отличные новости, Ульпий. Малиол согласился освободить тебя и Юлию от долгов.
It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact, and she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that.
Лукреции удалось вовремя раздобыть Сильфий, чтобы спасти ей жизнь. С ней все будет хорошо.
What? Are you messing with me?
Я бы так не поступил. Вы оба свободны.
We're free. We're free. Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us after all. I'd better go and pay a visit to Yulia immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
Можешь рассказать мне о своих отношениях с Синтилой?
Ah. And there it is. All right. Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing.
Почему бы тебе не начать с самого начала?
All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her, standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa. I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fates had brought me to her. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her. And so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Scintilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. But with her gone, things unraveled quickly. You saw how bad it got.
Возможно, она могла как-то выбраться.
All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never have taken her own life. And there's no way anybody could have killed her under the Golden Rule. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how, or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened?
Есть предположение.
My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. He is without doubt the most evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the Golden Rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things.
Мне уже довелось там побывать, и там нет ни следа синтилы.
Oh, I see. That was the only idea I had. I'll give it some more thought. Come and find me a little later. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
Есть подозрение, что он чего-то не договаривает. Так.
What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm thankful that you're here. Can I help you with something?
Расскажи о себе.
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
Как ты сюда попала?
Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place.
Мне жаль.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me.
Бога? Ты имеешь в виду богов?
Oh yes, of course. A slip of the tongue.
Ага, значит, она тоже сектант.
If you like.
Что думаешь о золотом правиле?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbors as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
Не знаю, я считаю, что люди добры по своей сути.
You don't think that's a little naive? I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer.
Я от своих слов не отказываюсь.
I wish I shared your faith.
Получается, ты христианка?
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Я сохраню твой секрет.
Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Ты не знаешь, как отсюда выбраться?
I'm afraid not. Although I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate.
Спасибо, но там точно дело нечисто.
Oh, I see. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sorry I even suggested it. I won't make that mistake again.
Я пошел.
Ah, that's a shame. Another time then.
Так, получается, если Малиол снялся с выборов, но день все еще продолжается, значит, не он виноват не он грех совершил. Значит, кто-то еще что-то сделает. Так, поговорим с очень полезным и добрым человеком. Наверное, в следующий раз его можно будет и к Ульпию отправить, чтобы тот его отговорил прыгать.
Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now, what's on your mind?
Расскажи о себе.
Well, it's a long one and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it.
Я никуда не спешу.
I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and two little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. I sprinted so fast I almost threw up. But by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young. It was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. It still burns whenever I think about it.
Полезно.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome, to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me. and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. Never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place and started my life over again.
К счастью, все хорошо закончилось.
That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting. And he'll get his, one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes.
Посмотрим. А вот это интересно.
Don't be like that. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Он тоже что-то планирует. Ты не знаешь, как отсюда выбраться?
Well, as much as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field, isn't it? But Centilla, Sentius's daughter, went missing a few weeks back. Could be she found a way out. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister, Sentia. But she'd never tell the likes of me.
Что думаешь о золотом правиле?
Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know?
Что думаешь о выборах?
I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life.
А тебе не хотелось бы самому стать магистратом?
I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. That's good enough for me.
Малеол снял свою кандидатуру с выборов.
He did? Oh, that was unexpected. I wonder what could have possessed him to do that. Well, I guess it's time for me to step up then. I'll let Equitia know I'll be running.
Так.
All right, friend. Hope you find a way to break that cycle you're in.
Ну вот и рецепт сделать его магистратом. Сначала отправить всем, кому можно помочь, а потом уговорить, и на выборах его выберут в итоге, мне кажется.
Don't you just love springtime?
Ладно, пока он разговаривает, можно в подвал сходить, в котором привидения обитают, по словам Деция. То есть ты, получается, единственный фермер здесь?
Citizen. Name's Grufius. Better what? Galerius. sorted out my rheumatism. For the first time.
Ну да, я был прав.
Fine. So you're up.
Все, кому он помогает, за него голосовать идут.
Feeling all right? That's a shame.
Так. Ладно.
Be careful who you trust. Sorry, was there something?
Нет, она ничего не говорит про голосование. Итак, что здесь?
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Я знаю об этой твоей твари. Не беспокойся обо мне.
Well, it's your funeral.
А, опять эти? А как они сюда добрались? Из дворца. Ага. Понятно. Лунная подвеска. Кулон в форме луны. На обратной стороне есть надпись на латыни, которая гласит «Сен Диадев». Это, надеюсь, не Сентилий подвеска. Так. Ну-ка, что задание говорит? Угу. А здесь что? А здесь... Истощенное человекоподобное существо, осыпанное золотом. Похоже, оно было раздавлено насмерть, когда входило в цистерну из пещеры. Ага. А пещера наверняка ведет в дворец. Так, хорошо. Призрака никакого так и нет почему-то. Не видно, по крайней мере. Ну-ка. Получится, нет? И есть. Это что еще? Так, секундочку. Заперто. А здесь тоже заперто. Меня никто сюда не посылал. Что здесь вообще происходит?
He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key.
Кто это с тобой сделал?
Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him.
Но почему это не нарушило золотое правило?
I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either.
Где находится этот выход?
Behind me. There's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key.
Если я тебя освобожу, что ты сделаешь?
I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the golden rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together.
Как насчет остальных?
There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say?
А что, если я всех предупрежу, и они подготовятся, когда золотое правило будет нарушено? Мы сбежим вместе?
There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never.
Ну, давай сбежим вместе.
Oh, thank you. Now follow. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
Очень интересно. Внезапно.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she?
Ты подонок, ты в курсе?
So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to,
you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al.
Погоди, что?
Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you're a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more muted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Just the 4? Not many. But don't worry, I'm sure there'll be another useful idiot who comes along after you're dead. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
То есть ты попросил меня узнать, кто нарушит золотое правило, заранее зная, что у меня ничего не получится?
Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death. By reliving the same day over and over again, forever. And I will continue living long after you're dust.
Ты знал, что отсюда есть выход. Ты даже запер собственную дочь, чтобы она не выдала этот секрет. Зачем? Ну, это глупый вопрос, он только что рассказал.
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself?
Попробуй-ка теперь смухлевать.
Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bird?
Может, у меня бы и получилось, но я предоставлю это ей.
Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
По заслугам.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Это что, все, что ли?
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fray. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Элворд, я как раз тебя и ищу.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Хочется верить, ты знаешь, кто я.
Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kind of rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light.
Между прочим, это моих рук дело.
What? You're saying you were here 2,000 years ago? I'm not sure I understand.
Оказавшись здесь в наше время впервые, мне пришлось смотреть на твой труп, висящий в петле.
I'm sorry, come again?
А твоя прощальная записка, выгравированная на этой скрижали, у меня до сих пор с собой. Вот.
Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going around and around in circles. This is disturbing. But I don't understand how I could have written it.
Какая именно ситуация? Это написал другой ты. Мне удалось изменить прошлое и твою судьбу вместе с ним.
I'm not following.
Мне удалось помочь Сентиле убить того, кто открыл временной портал, и вернуть тебя назад во времени, предотвратив твое самоубийство.
So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this.
Да, теперь ты начинаешь понимать.
I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in.
Хватит болтать. Как нам отсюда выбраться?
Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it.
Сюда, к цистерне, за мной. Да. Честно говоря, очень резкий поворот был. Выполняешь дополнительное задание, а тут бах, и конец всей истории. Ну, вообще таких игр с временной петлей сейчас в последнее время все больше и больше становится. Вот недавно вышла игра 12 минут, где семейная пара переживает одно и то же преступление. И нужно пытаться как-то этого избежать. От Bethesda тоже недавно игра подобная вышла. Так, это получается... То есть не обязательно все три основных задания выполнять. Ну-ка, что с городом стало за эти годы? А где Эд? Странно. Вот он. Правильно делаешь.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Хорошая идея.
You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
Да, от города не так уж и много осталось. Хотя, ну да, не так уж и много. Стоп, а... Харон все еще тут.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
Да нет, получилось. Он сейчас подойдет.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Мне уже известно, что твое настоящее имя Харон.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Кто ты на самом деле?
You can just call me Caroline, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
И в чем же заключается эта правда?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
Меня нет в живых, но как это произошло?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Да, хочу.
As you wish. You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
Что в них такого особенного?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferrymen for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Зачем?
That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible. In light of the path you have chosen, I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Ты можешь вернуть нас в мир живых?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was... Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Cynthia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Scintilla.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Ну хорошо, Харон. Отвези нас домой. Угу. Всего 4 концовки получается. Три спасения, а 4-я, наверное, так и остаться в этом городе навсегда. Что ж, друзья, на этом спасибо за просмотр. Первой не было, это просто показывают общее количество возможных концовок, как я понял. Похоже, всего 4. По крайней мере, явно показано. Я даже не рассчитывал, что все так закончится быстро. Да. Что ж, всем спасибо за просмотр. Не болейте и до новых встреч.